If you have been prescribed Viagra or generic name Sildenafil, and you're searching how to take it for the best effect, for the best results, what reduces its absorption, what increases its effectiveness, its side effects, everything that you need to know about it that I generally teach my patients, then you found the right video. I'm going to go through all of that step by step. So let's begin with when to take Viagra or Sildenafil, okay? You take it 30 to 60 minutes before anticipated sexual activity. In terms of how long does it last, well, it differs with everyone really, but an important thing to remember is that the peak concentration is 2 hours. So after you've taken a tablet, after 2 hours, you get your peak concentration. After that, it starts to reduce from your system. The most important thing I always tell my patients when taking Viagra or Sildenafil is take it on an empty stomach. You want to improve absorption, so always take it on an empty stomach. If you have eaten like a big meal, ideally you should wait 2 hours. So 2 hours after a large meal is considered an empty stomach. So bear that in mind. All of these are going to affect how effective it is. So in terms of how long does the Sildenafil or Viagra last, it generally lasts for about 4 to 6 hours. And I remember once I was counseling a patient on how to take their Sildenafil. I did tell them it lasts about 4 to 6 hours. And when I was reviewing them again and asking how he got on, he told me he never started it because he was embarrassed about having an erection for up to 6 hours. So remember that when you take Viagra or Sildenafil, it's not a continuous erection for 6 hours, all right? If you have a continuous erection for 6 hours, you need to go to the nearest accident emergency unit because that's the medical emergency. But we'll get to that later. But he was worried about having an erection for a long period and embarrassed about it. And it's important to note that you're not just going to instantly get an erection. You still need the arousal that everyone needs, all right? It's just it can be effective still for 4 to 6 hours. And I think it is important to note that if you are taking Sildenafil or Viagra for erectile dysfunction, it's important to plan your sexual activity because, it lasts 4 to 6 hours, it takes 30 to 60 minutes, all right, for it to become effective to begin with. So you have a window really, all right? So you need to plan when you take it, that you take it on an empty stomach, and that you're going to have anticipated sexual activity in that period of time. And again, you still need your arousal, all right, to have an erection. So I know I keep saying this, but if you're not doing all the things that is expected during sexual intercourse, it's not going to really have a magical effect with it. You still need that arousal for it to become effective. So I guess the next question is, how much Sildenafil or Viagra should you take in terms of the dosage? So generally speaking, well, Sildenafil or Viagra comes as 3 strengths. So you've got 25 milligrams, 50 milligrams, and 100 milligram tablet. It doesn't mean that you need to have the 100 milligram tablet for it to become effective. So generally speaking, most patients, I would start them on 25 milligrams and review them after a month, see how they got on with it. 9 times out of 10, that dose helps them and it works. Follow up with your medical provider if it's not. And generally the next step is that they might increase your dose to 50 milligrams. Again, follow up again. They might then increase to 100 milligrams, or they might try a different erectile dysfunction medication. So it's entirely really up to them. There are obviously other medical conditions as well that can interact a little bit in terms of the dosing, depending on your kidney function, your liver function, depending on cardiovascular health. So it's really important that the dose is adjusted properly for you with your medical provider, okay? So don't think to yourself that, if it's not working, I can take 2 or anything like that. Always speak to your medical provider about the dosing. So next up, I want to talk about improving Sildenafil or Viagra's effectiveness with your diet. I'll give you a story actually with a patient that I had who would plan their anticipated sexual activity with his partner. Whenever they'd have sexual intercourse, they'd usually have a few glasses of red wine, a nice cheese board, some nice cured meat, which sounds delicious and, really fun, but unfortunately would take their Viagra, Sildenafil at that point. Now the issue is you need to obviously try and have your Sildenafil Viagra on an empty stomach, but also those foods are probably the worst foods you can have in terms of helping absorption because alcohol is going to have a natural depressant effect anyway. The cheese is also not going to help with the absorption, nor is the meats, the fatty meats, all right? We want to stay away from high fat content food. So instead, if you're going to be eating, all right, after you've had your Viagra, you need to be having light meals, all right? So just a healthy whole food diet, all right? Lean proteins are fine, nice carbohydrates are fine, healthy whole foods are fine, fruits and vegetables are fine, but you need to stay away from high fat content foods because it's not going to be helpful and it's going to reduce the effectiveness. And with alcohol, just a bit more information. A small amount of alcohol is completely fine, all right? If you're overindulging or having too much alcohol, it will have a negative effect on the effectiveness of the sildenafil Viagra. So that's just something really important to bear in mind. Next up, have you ever heard of a vacuum erection device, also known as a penis pump? This right here is a water-based vacuum pump, class 2 medical device made right here in the United Kingdom by a company called VaxAid. It's best used in the bath or the shower to avoid messy lubricants, and it features a hand pump to make it even easier to achieve consistent body-safe pressure. And this gentle pressure helps create a vacuum environment that naturally encourages blood flow. VaxAid offers a 100% full refund within 60 days, a 2-year warranty, and free shipping worldwide. The VaxAid team are very good friends of the channel, and to learn more about their products, I will leave a link in the description below. Definitely do check it out and learn more. VaxAid, thanks for being our trusted sponsor. Now, unfortunately, with all medication, they do come with side effects, and sildenafil Viagra is no different. Some of the most common side effects are headaches, firstly. They can last up to even 2 hours, but that's a very common one. Facial flushing, so your face and skin will look red. Indigestion is another common side effect, so heartburn. And also sometimes you get some visual changes. You can get a bit of a blue tinge to your vision, blurred vision. That is quite a rare one, but some patients do get it. That should go away. It's generally temporary, but if it does continue, obviously seek medical advice urgently. And another one that's quite rare, which I spoke about right at the start, is something called priapism. Priapism is basically an erection that basically continues for up to 4 hours, all right? So anything more than 3-4 hours, if that erection is not going away, you need to seek urgent medical advice straight away, as in go to accident and emergency, because that's a danger and there can be a lot of complications associated with it. So if that ever happens, you need to seek urgent emergency medical advice. So the key takeaways of this video: firstly, the effects of Viagra or sildenafil take about 60 minutes, all right? So you need to make sure that you're planning your sexual activity and taking it at the right time. 2, it's best taken on an empty stomach. Avoid fatty meals, avoid excessive alcohol, and avoid grapefruit. 3, you need to monitor the side effects that we spoke about, and also the emergency side effects to be aware of as well. 4, again, as I mentioned, you need to plan your sexual activity. You have a 4 to 6 hour window that the Viagra or sildenafil will be effective. And remember, it doesn't mean you're going to have a 6 hour long erection, all right, or a 4 hour long erection, unless it's the side effect that we spoke about earlier, but you still need that arousal to get an erection. 5, diet and healthy lifestyle. Remember what we spoke about in terms of what to eat and what not to eat. I just want to say a big thank you for watching this video. I'm sure there's loads of videos available online, and you've chosen to click on my video, and we really appreciate you watching. We spend a lot of time making these videos, and we put a lot of effort in giving evidence-based scientific information. I've taught you everything that I usually teach my patients in today's video, and I really hope you find this information helpful. If you know anyone that would also find this information helpful, please do share it with them. If you have any of your own tips, definitely leave a comment below. I'd love to read it. I'm sure everyone else watching this video would love to read it. And as I always say, thank you for watching and sending awesome vibes.